Oh, it's Mr. McFeely.
I have seen the future, and he was wearing number 5, and I ain't talking about Robbie Grimsley, folks.
Took out the muffins, took out the trail mix, took out the cookies. They stole the monster cookies.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Let's do some broadcasting.
Let's do some broadcasting with our guy, Mike McFeely. Look at that. Look at a very pensive pose there. You're doing the same thing.
I'm in the same pose right now.
We got to get a side by
side. I was literally looking at the monitor in the studio here, and I have the same pose.
That was yesterday. What are you thinking about there? You're deep in thought there.
I'm looking over at the food that they had with the steaks and the chicken yesterday. That's what I was going.
You are deep in thought there.
Should I just have the steak, or should I have both the steak and the chicken?
It should be on your forum bio, that photo right there. Always deep.
Always deep in thought.
What am I writing about?
Thinking of my next witty sentence that I'm writing.
Next skewering you're going to have on there.
Not much skewering lately. Not much skewering. No, that was pretty good.
Do it. There you go. That's pretty good. The pensive man.
When did I get so old? That's my next question. When did I get old? Wow. Okay.
Oh man. Yeah, I caught that yesterday. That one of the many photos that were put out on social media yesterday from Valley Media Day. I'm like, oh, look at this. Look at Mike in the background.
At least I'm not picking my nose or stuffing my face with the steak or chicken. I have a big.
Although that would have been pretty good too.
I went through the meal in about 30 seconds.
I think all of us did. Working to the grindstone there. Great to have you back. I know you were down. We were on yesterday. Thanks for popping on our streaming show we did yesterday.
Yes. The drive back from Sioux Falls, by the way, I mean,
a little different in July, isn't it?
In March, it's like you're setting out on the Lewis and Clark expedition. You know, you wonder if you're going to get there.
That's exactly
you say goodbye
right.
to your family. Double check the will. Make sure that thing is up to date.
Yep.
Make sure that the life insurance is paid.
All good.
And it's like, okay, well, Michelle, see ya.
Maybe.
I hope in a few days. I'll let you know. In the summer, it's like, bing, bing, you're down there and back in 3 hours.
I know it.
And it just, you're like nothing.
I was saying that actually to Eric and Alex and Kyle as we were driving down Sunday. This is a breeze.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Same thing yesterday. Back and lickety split. It was fantastic.
Just totally different.
No doubt. Would you give me your overview of what you made of yesterday? And you and I talked about this last week going into it, of what we thought media-wise was exactly what ended up being there.
There was a couple Jimmy bloggers there, too.
Yes, there were.
So I win. I win that one. There was a couple Jimmy bloggers
You
there.
did win that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was all Dakotas, and I was in the middle of a discussion between the athletic director at North Dakota State and the athletic director from North Dakota, Matt Larson and Bill Chaves. They have names. And we're just chatting about, what they asked me, I think, what I thought.
Yeah.
And they were talking about what they thought of it. And Matt Larson just sort of off the cuff said, yeah, is this do we want it at a football facility? Do we want it in Minneapolis, like at US Bank Stadium or something? And Bill said, I think rightly, he's like, well, I don't know if we want to move it out of here, out of Sioux Falls, he meant, because he goes, all the media here, I think, is all from the Dakotas.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of where our central mark is. And he was right. I don't know. Unlike the Summit League tournament, I think maybe for now, the best place for the basketball or the media day is Sioux Falls. Or they could move it to Fargo one year. Move it to the Fargo Dome.
Yeah. I don't know
if the day is open.
If you're moving it to even Chicago, if you're going to get Youngstown, Indiana State, and Murray to go, because I don't think they staff it as such anymore that they can do that.
That was my contribution, I think, to that discussion was I don't know how much media are left in those places.
Right.
And that's a total inside baseball thing that nobody cares about. But it just, the media has shifted so much. Newspapers, some of them have gone out of business completely. They don't travel as much anymore. Frankly, Bison fans and NDSU, you're fortunate to have formed communications
Yep.
in this town because we're still traveling and
Yeah, I
still
mentioned that at the top.
having
Yep.
multiple people going to the games on the road and
And I'd say
everywhere else.
we cover the other teams pretty well as well. The other
As-
ones in
as
the
good as
valley.
anybody,
I like to think that.
Yeah.
You know.
And so it's just, I don't know if moving to Chicago
Right.
or Minneapolis or, like I said,
Yeah.
maybe they could have it in Fargo a couple of years just so that we wouldn't have to drive everywhere since there's most of us are, the ones down there was Fargo Media.
There was. Yep.
You know, so.
You had a chance. You had your column today on Logan Kopp, who we had on the show yesterday, who's joining the alumni of Bison players that are getting married in a bye week.
Yes.
James
September 20th, by the way, which is
Did-
somebody else's anniversary.
Did you get an invite?
No, it's my wedding anniversary.
I know, but did you get an invite to
To my
this?
wedding? Yes,
No,
I was there.
To Kopp's
No.
wedding? Oh, I didn't get one either. Well, that's a double whammy. It's good. That's a good day then.
So I didn't give Logan this advice yesterday, but do not ever forget that you were married on September 20th.
Have you done that?
Yes. Once. One time.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
How'd that go over?
I think I'm making it clear how it went over. One time. Will never
So-
happen again. And every once in a while, our daughter will bring up and go, "Hey, Dad, remember that time?" Stop. Remember that time you forgot your anniversary? Oh,
Oh man.
okay.
So
You're out of the will. Speaking of the will, you're out.
James Kaiser did this, and Cole Wisniewski
Wisniewski
did it
yeah.
a couple years
Yep.
ago. So
I think was Wisniewski still at linebacker at that point, or had he been moved to safety?
No, I think he had moved.
I think so, too,
I
yes.
think he had.
Otherwise it'd be an all
and that's
linebacker
right.
club.
Yeah, but you wrote this, and we talked about during the break yesterday between sessions that when you think of the great players on the team, and even if you want to go back to last year's team or this year's team, it seems like Kopp isn't at the forefront of those. Even though he's a really
Well,
good
right,
player,
and
just
what-
doesn't come up right away.
What I remember is in the spring when the players started to tweet out like they were staying, and a couple of them tweeted out that they were staying and ended up not staying.
Yep.
But people were so excited, of course, that Bryce Lance was staying, and at the time, Marty Brown said he was staying. That changed, but all these guys were tweeting, and for whatever it's worth, just the vibe was, I sensed that like people weren't going, "Hey, Logan Kopp is staying,"
Yep.
and he's good.
He's a really good player.
He's really good,
Yep.
and I think he's a two-time first team
all-league
all
player.
conference. He's a preseason All-American, and it's all well deserved.
Yep.
He had the biggest interception of the year last year, and I would argue one of the bigger ones in the last decade for NDSU. Destin Talbert's interception was at the top of the list, and that one was massive
Yep.
last year because it
clinched the
it
marker
clinched
game.
the marker
Yeah.
game against South Dakota State at the Dome, and sort of.
And the way he made the play was phenomenal.
Oh,
it was a
it's-
phenomenal
again,
play.
you look at the highlights and go, "Oh my goodness gracious!"
Yep. And he had another one. He clinched the game with East Tennessee State on the comeback there after they clinched that. He had the game clinching pick there.
And so I
Yeah.
asked the question of Paulsek. I tried to phrase it gently, in part because Logan was there, but I said I don't want to say he's under the radar, but he's kind of under the radar, And Tim just said, yeah, and then he kind of went into praising him and talking about his attributes. But it's just sort of when you talk about and when other media and are talking about NDSU, they're talking about can Cole Payton throw? We're going to find out.
Yep.
We'll find out. Same question we've been asking in Fargo here for 2 years, 3. I literally wrote a column. I literally asked Cole Payton to his face, can you throw? That's the question out in the community. Can you throw? I think he was baffled and a bit perturbed with me.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
But because I probably didn't know where it was coming from. But it's a fair question. But Bryce Lance is at the top. Bryce. Oh my goodness! And who's offensive line? Oh my God! They're not going to be as good.
I got that one in yesterday.
It's like okay, but the linebacker is pretty good.
Yes.
He's pretty good.
And the guys around him are, I think, going to be pretty good. Paulsek and Kopp were both effusive with praise for Nathaniel Staling, who's going to be the guy now taking over in the middle at middle linebacker.
What if he turns out to be better than the two guys they've had there the last few years? And they were pretty good.
Yep.
When Luke Wirtz was healthy, he was good.
Kubitz was pretty solid.
He struggled last year with some more of those back problems,
injuries.
I think.
Yep.
And Kubitz turned out to be really good.
Yep. By the end.
Yep. And what if Staline is better than both of those guys?
And then the other guy on the other end is Donovan Woolen, who looks the part already.
Yep, he looks the part.
I mean, he played 11 games as a true freshman last year, and I would imagine with Sibamana's departure that Donovan's going to get first crack up there to start for that game at the Citadel here on August 30th. I would guess so. That's a athletic group at linebacker.
Very much so. And I know that we've talked about this before, but the sort of the flip of the script from a year ago is last year it was, boy, the offense is going to be really good, but what's the defense going to be? This year it's defense might be pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, with Keenan Wilson at tackle and Dutton Effort at tackle. And again, I keep saying, if Heisman would have came back.
Oh, man.
I mean, forget about it.
Yep.
I mean, they would have been amazing up front.
Correct.
And they still might be pretty darn good in the FCS. But the defense seems at this point to be pretty solid. Yeah. And maybe some of the questions are more, you know, where the offense is.
As Polisic told me when I asked him about offensive line, he goes, it's warranted this year. You can ask me about offensive line questions this year with obviously three starters.
But I think it's going to be okay. I mean, I think the first few games, the first 3 games might be a little uneven. Just to see where everybody is. And, you know, I would get, you know, if they lose one of those first 3, then then it's.
I agree with that.
The sky will be falling in Fargo, and I'll help pull it down. But I think we're going to see, there might be some rough spots. You know, Marty Brown is a big loss for that offense, but Barika's a senior now, a 5th-year senior. So let's see what he's got. You know, some of those other younger backs, let's see what they have. And then the tight end group is, you know,
unproven there. Completely unproven there.
But boy, they got some guys that can catch the ball on the outside and in the slot.
Wide receiver, they're loaded.
Jackson Williams is, which goes back to which you and I both in Sioux Falls were, when people were asking us, can Cole Payton throw? We're going, well, it's going to help that he's got like 5 receivers that are unbelievable. That he's going to have the best receiver group in the FCS.
Yes, correct. Yep.
You know, I mean, maybe, you know, there's a chance Bryce Lance is going to be a reasonably high NFL draft choice.
Yep. I mean, Raja Nelson's back for his 18th year.
Talk about a guy that nobody talks about.
It's Raja Nelson. Yeah.
Right. I mean, because he didn't really practice in the spring, and he played 5 games or whatever it was last year. But when he was in there,
every time he made a play,
think of the catches he made last year.
Every time. He had both touchdowns in the marker game.
Yeah.
Both of them.
He had a couple of huge receptions in the national championship game.
Yep.
But when you go back and watch those games, this is a legitimate question about quarterback. And I'm not saying that the throwing the ball, we got to see. Just like we have to see if the kid in Brookings can throw the ball.
Yep.
We don't know.
Yep.
He might be the greatest athlete in the history of the Missouri Valley Football Conference, as I've read somewhere, but we don't know whether he can throw. We just don't. I'm not saying he can't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same thing with Cole. Same thing.
And you know, everybody's got his new starting quarterback other than Illinois State and South Dakota. We know those guys can throw, but Grand Forks, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be and whether they can throw.
Correct.
So everybody's facing the same issues. But Cam Miller was always vastly underrated and underappreciated and at times wrongly abused, mostly nationally and regionally more so than locally. But there was some who didn't really think that he had what it took. You go back and watch some of those games, as sadly I have done this summer, as I've been just laying around on a rainy day or late at night or whatever. Cam Miller was so
really good
last year.
Really good.
So good last year in so many big situations, making throws. You can just look at the marker game, the semifinals, and the national championship game.
Yep.
And there was many, but just look at those 3 games and go, wow.
Colorado game I throw in there too,
Wow.
but those 3, they come right off the top. Absolutely. Let's break. We're overdue for one. Couple more minutes here with Mike. Wrap up our first hour. Back on a Tuesday morning edition of Hot Mike on WDAY Extra right after this. Welcome back, everybody. This is from Brett McMurphy. The American Conference is the new name of the American Athletic Conference. No more AAC, just the American. And they have a mascot, Mike, that's Soar.
Soar.
The Americans' brand everyone has to have a brand ambassador these days.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So if we're looking for NDSU to get into
who's the Missouri Valley Conference's football conference's brand ambassador?
Oh, man. doing? You. Could it be you with that logo, with the pensive look? Can we do that? Can that be you?
I'm looking at the horizon to see
Yes.
how NDSU can get out of this conference.
By the way, we were looking in the break. Conference USA has its media day today. Of all places, Frisco, Texas is where that's at. I had 2 clever emails saying that's the only way Missouri State could ever make it to Frisco was go to Conference USA.
Wow. Wow.
It's pretty good.
True.
It's pretty good.
But wow.
And same for a couple other schools. Kennesaw State.
Yes. Yep.
Sam Houston's been to Frisco, so we can't say it about them.
Delaware's been to Frisco many years ago.
Jacksonville State's been to Frisco.
How'd that go?
Yeah. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember what writer thought, oh, we're going to just no athletes.
Yeah. Yep.
They're just slow.
Oh. They've never seen a team like ours before.
Never seen Eli Jenkins before.
That was the line. It was guy was a columnist for the
Correctamundo
Anniston Star newspaper.
Yep.
They've never seen us before.
How'd that go?
They got all bent out of shape.
Yep.
The fact this was 2015, and by that time, North Dakota State had been down there four times in a row, and so you get to know people, right? I mean, that's human. And especially if you're a reporter or a columnist, you're trying to meet people, and so the mayor at that time in Frisco, Mayor Mazzo, who I'm still in contact with occasionally, and I visited with them when I was down in Frisco. Yeah. I'm not going to say we're friends, although we do call each other friend when we talk to each other.
Acquaintances?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, we're not close, but I'd say we're a friend.
Okay.
When I'm down there, he checks and sees if I have time to go to dinner and whatever else and BS. And but I texted him after the Bison beat Richmond, I think, in the Dome, and Danny Rocco was ready to jump off the Main Avenue Bridge at halftime. But I texted Mayor Mazzo and said, hey, what do you think about NSU coming back to Frisco? And if he gave the answer you'd expect the mayor of the city to do, which is, it's great. We love having NSU down here. Can't wait for all the people to come down here to see my old friends. And I wrote that column about that. And the people in Alabama the media people got so bent out of shape. I'm just like, what? Why do you care?
Yeah, I know. Yep.
The columnist was so mad. He's like, well, the mayor of Frisco is not rooting for us. It's like, okay, I'm not sure he's rooting for NSU, even though he was.
Who gives a rip if he is?
I told the guy when I saw him, I go, I've known the guy for like 5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, why do you care? And I was actually going to do a column with that columnist on him because he just got all worked up and wrote this long column about how Jacksonville State was going to beat the hell out of NDSU, and they were getting. And then Carson Wentz was announced as the starter for the game.
Right.
And so I would see you later. That column's never running.
Bigger news transpired the night before.
Whatever your name was, whatever.
Yeah, I just remember that was just,
an odd thing.
Deal
it was just
on that. Email comes in. This is going back to our earlier topic before you came on. Dom, he asked Mike if he has any care about the Twins and what they do coming forward here. I know the answer to that is probably no.
No, I did watch the game last night, at least some of it, because they pretty good player was the starting pitcher and
Shohei Ohtani was
home run hitter for the LA Dodgers. But no, I just can't get worked up about the Twins.
Yep.
I just don't know where they're going or what they're stuck with Correa's contract, and so that's about a quarter of their payroll, and they're not going to spend any money because they're trying to sell the team.
Correct.
And then once they sell the team, you don't know what they're going to do. Who's the new owner going to be? What's going to be whatever. It's sad.
Yeah. The other big deal today, this is another reminder that summer is done, is the Vikings report to camp today.
Done.
Summer's done.
It's July 22nd.
Over.
No.
OVER.
For you
over.
it is. I'm making sure it's not. I thought about that yesterday.
Yeah.
I was down in Sioux Falls going, no, it's not fall yet. No, there's like a month and a half of summer left. I'm just like not going to
go fishing.
Not going to flush. Yeah.
Go golf.
Yeah. I'm not going to waste it.
You.
What am
Good
I doing here? What are we doing here?
But the Vikings do report today, so you have that going for you there. So
well, and speaking of the Twins, like not only myself but everybody else not caring about the Twins now. once the Vikings report.
Yeah, then it's definitely donezo after that.
Forget about it.
Right. Especially because they're not good.
Yeah.
That was the old sports adage, at least for us in TV. It was like, the Twins can just be relevant till the Vikings
until
till the
August
Vikings get
5th
here,
or whatever.
till the Vikings get here, and then we'll take it from there.
I'm not supposed to, give shout outs to competing media, and the Star Tribune is competing media for us in our business. But Pat Royce had a good column last night that he posted about Vikings training camp, and we can maybe do this next. But it's just so.
I read it,
and this is totally me being 100 years old, but just the way. And I haven't been to training camp now for a couple of years down at TCO.
Yeah, you went with
whatever.
Trey Lance. You were there when Trey Lance was down there.
It's so different.
Yes, it
and
is.
It's just so much less fun.
Yep.
Used to go to Gage Hall and hey, Todd Stussy, got a second? Yeah, whatever. And you go sit down and now it's just like, oh my God.
I did that with Ben Lieber and Chad Greenway.
Yeah,
We were in Mankato.
you go sit in the dorm furniture and I got a few minutes. Yep, sit down and chat with them.
Hey, before you get on the bike, can I get you for 2 minutes? Yeah.
Yep. We used to eat in the cafeteria in Gage Hall and like at the same table as like the coaching staff. They used to have the media.
That's wild.
The media, it's like, okay. I mean, they weren't interacting because they wanted nothing to do with us. But it's like, okay, Denny Green,
Brian
Billick, Mike McFeely, all lined up at the buffet.
Powerhouse. Did you do this?
I was doing this the whole time.
Did you do that?
Should you have taken the knee against Atlanta
in the 98 championship game?
They would have found roast beef in places that roast beef is not supposed to be.
Great stuff as always, bud. Thanks for coming by. Have a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Mike McFeely joining us each and every Tuesday at 9:35. We'll break. We come back. Hour 2 of the big show. We'll start after this.